do all kinds of analytical analysis for not only the buyers, but for other departments. So all of those things my job has become so much easier by automating some of these things through InsideTrack, and it's freed up my team to do other things that we could never focus on before. So it's been, I think it's a win-win, but my team has been very, very happy in finding this, and everything we were doing, it was manual. I mean, imagine hand keying in every onsa. I don't know if you know what an onsa is, but that's the pricing document that goes into some of our distributors. We were hand keying those into a spreadsheet and then populating it with some usage data. And then it was running our audits. As long as all the formulas were right, then we hoped that it was good. It was just, so let's say one price audit would take my team probably 3 full days to do 1 month, one period. And now it's all we do is pass on our pricing documents to InsideTrack, and before we know it, we get a document back that we review and give the okay on, and then InsideTrack takes it and runs with it. So it has definitely been instrumental in helping my team do other projects that is not only helping our department, but as a company as a whole, we're accomplishing so much more than we could.
Now, you're not working for some small rinky-dink operation here. I mean, Cheesecake Factory is a huge multi-unit player. You know, if you're doing things manually, do you think that this is a problem that persists throughout the industry? Do you think Cheesecake was unique in being particularly, I don't know, behind technologically? Or do you think that there's just a lot of areas here where there's just like a ton of value to add to the industry at large?
And that's a great question. I think every company has their challenges. Yes, we had challenges in our systems. We have several systems, and then we have to piecemeal all of the data once we get it. And I think that other companies experience similar setbacks. Everyone has maybe their own little nuances, but I don't think we are set apart from any other company. Yes, we're big, and we've gone through these growing pains of, being a small company to being a big small company, and now a big company. But every company goes through that, and at every phase of that, you have different challenges. So at some point, you have to move from automation or from manual to automation. And I think, we should have done it a lot sooner, had it been my choice, but the timing wasn't right. We had other initiatives, and now is, it's the golden hour for InsideTrack, and they have yet to disappoint, that's for sure.
Amazing. So there's a lot of challenges, especially new and kind of scary challenges facing the restaurant industry right now. You can't open like a restaurantbusiness.com or go to a conference without hearing about labor challenges and supply chain challenges. There's all of this new wave of obstacles facing the industry. How do you navigate that, and in what ways does InsideTrack help you, or could we maybe even help you more?
It's here we said, pandemic was unprecedented times, and I think we're now in the new phase, the new normal of unprecedented times, because we didn't know that we were going to be facing all these inflationary obstacles, supply chain issues. And what InsideTrack offers is something that I've never seen before, but the dashboard, it tells you if you're competitive against We don't even know who we're against because we can't see it, but does anybody have better pricing than we do? And if so, we need to do a better job. Substitutions. Okay, so InsideTrack can tell me, yes, this operating company is going to be out of your spec item, but here's a like item. So will this work? We can head it off at the pass, whereas before the restaurants would then have to go to the grocery store or get a hot shot from our distributor. And that's obviously not very efficient. And I think that NASDAQ, that's the other piece, is that ticker down at the bottom. You can see, where the markets are, where commodities are, and we're huge in commodities. So we buy our futures, and that is a tool that has helped us understand when the best time to buy is and at what price. So the dashboard is amazing. And the fact that you can drag and drop one piece over the other, and now you got this chart that you can share with everybody, because everybody likes the visuals, not just graphs or not just Excel spreadsheets. So I think that everyone uses the tool the way that they see fits best for them, which is not something that I have ever heard of. And everyone looks at things differently. Everyone looks at their data differently. And with these tools, they can customize it and see it exactly the way they want to see it.
So that is really great feedback. Can you tell us about some of the people on your team who log in and why? What they log in to do?
Yeah, so commodities is definitely one that they log in, they look at what the NASDAQ is doing, and book according to what they're seeing. The other pieces are, there's part of our team looks to see for substitutions. We have another person on the team that is actually Tim from InsideTrack is going to help one of our analytic folks learn how to use the tool, and that's going to help forecast. It's going to help not only forecasting for our restaurants, but forecasting for the manufacturers, which is something that we have not really dug into in the past. And I think that would help our manufacturers. It would help our distributors so that we don't run out of product. And then maybe we don't have to see as many subs, but I still know what sub is available at each distribution house. So everyone logs in for different reasons, and it's similar to how they set up their dashboard. What do they want to see? And they can change their dashboard any day of the week, depending on what they're buying, what their need is for the day. And so I think everyone uses the tool in multiple different ways, just depending on the given day.
So we have about 24 people or so here in the room, and I'm going to offer them an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have. And while they think of some of those questions, I want to ask you if you could comment on the people at InsideTrack, because I feel like I've heard over the 8 years that I've been working with this company that, especially for InsideTrack, the client relationships are just really powerful. And, I think there's a lot of software out there that encourages people to just, log into the software, interface with our brand via that. A lot of people will say they don't want human interaction anymore. And obviously it's a little less costly for a software brand to eliminate human interaction from the overhead. But what do you think about the relationships or how you receive service from our maybe client management team or audit teams or other groups or individuals within the company?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've been with Cheesecake 15 years, 16 years, and I've implemented now 4 different softwares, 2 of which, as soon as we were done implementing, it was hands off. I never heard from them again. I would have to call some number, and if I got help, I got help. It was not a relationship. It was a one track train. It was going in one direction, and that was me driving the train, and I didn't necessarily know what the heck I was doing. So this team is, like when I talk to Scott, and Scott and I talk all the time, so much so that he feels comfortable for whatever reason calling me at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's okay, Scott. It's okay. I'm not going to take those calls, just so you know. But I will pick up the phone. He'll call me at dinner. Hey, I'm at dinner with this guy. Can you talk to him? And I'm like, yeah, sure, put him on the phone. And I learned, what he does. And yeah, let's get together. So he's always connecting me with someone, and we're always talking. Tyler, I mean, I know his whole family. I know his dog, I know his wife. They all live next door to each other, I feel like. There, she won't take no for an answer. That's awesome because she does the audits. Tim is, Tim and I joke. Tim says he needs Brenda time and I need Tim time. So, at least once a week we touch base, just to touch base if we have something to talk about or not. Chris is awesome. I think he's Katie's backup, but he's her sidekick and helps get things done. Corinne is silent, but fierce and efficient. It's like, oh, can we get this list? And then Scott will say, can you send that after the call? And she's like, I already sent it. Oh, okay. So that's how efficient she is. And then there's Alex, who is like the man behind the mask. I never see his face, but he's the one doing all the work and getting stuff done. Then there's Linda, who's helping us with our new, initiative of rebates. And then there's Steve, and I can't do anything with Scott without Steve. Of course, Scott's like, okay, could you just slow down? I know you want this, but let me talk to Steve first. So I put the brakes on, and I wait until I get a word back from Scott. And so I can't say enough about the people that work there. And Katie Fuller gave me her cell phone number. She's like, I don't give this to anybody. But just, okay, I'm going to give it to you. So I just feel really connected, and to me, that is huge. And not one person on this team has said no to me. When I give them a project, they're like, "Hey, let's take a look at it. Let's see what we can do, and we'll present what we got. And if you like it, great. If you don't, we'll see what else we could do." So it's just best. One of the best companies I think I've ever worked for. So you guys are awesome.
That's amazing. Thank you. I think you named everyone but Barbara, but she just started this week, so we'll forgive you for that.
Okay. Okay. Good job, Barbara.
So now we have this incredible client on the phone, and she's agreed to answer any question about working with InsideTrack, what it's like to work for a brand like Cheesecake, how we might be able to help more in the future. Does anybody here have anything that they want to seize the opportunity to find out what Brenda thinks about any particular question or thing you might be interested in?
I guess.
Fran.
Yes, I mean, she said wonderful things about the software, so thank you, Brenda. My question would be, is there a thing that she's missing or that she still needs to go somewhere else with?
So Fran said, you said so many nice things about the software. Is there something that you think is missing or something that you wish you had, or you even find yourself going somewhere else to get that information?
No, it's quite the opposite. Everything I need, I come to you guys. I honestly, I haven't come across anything yet.
Bob.
That was pretty much my question.
Okay.
Anything that we're not doing that we could do for?
Yeah, something that we're not doing that you think we do. Maybe help you with the liquor program?
The liquor program does not fall under my scope, but it is definitely something that once I have all my wishes met, I'm happy to pass you on to the next speaker.
Brenda, I thought you understood the liquor marketing program. I thought Ty and I explained it pretty clearly to you the first time we met.
Shoot, you're right. I'm sorry. Yes, we have 2 cases of wine sent to every house once a week. Yeah, no.
Perfect. Anybody else have a question?
This doesn't really have anything to do with how you work with InsideTrack or anything, but it may help us with a little empathy and know what's going on. Tell us about your staffing situation. What is it like running a group of restaurants and having staffing problems? I mean, how are you dealing with that?
Were you able to hear that?
Yeah, I did. So that is a great question. At least out in the field, we have been very fortunate to, we have a staff that is hiring as fast as people are leaving. It is very taxing on the entire team. And this is, I'm speaking for the restaurant side. And then we have our own challenges at the corporate office. You know, when this whole pandemic happened, we had to furlough quite a few people and some of them didn't come back just for budget constraints. And that is what drives automation as at the corporate level. Restaurant level, it's just everybody is one big team, and I'm not kidding. It's each restaurant has, people are picking up double, triple shifts just to cover and fill in gaps where we have it. There was a time where we had to close the restaurants, let's say 50%, even though we could allow 100% capacity, we didn't have the wait staff to service them. So it was about 2 weeks where there was a couple of restaurants that we had to shut half the restaurant down. It only lasted a couple of days, thank goodness, but you know, our staff is working round the clock. Everyone is taxed. Even with the pandemic, there's a whole staff of people that get together every day that talk about each city, what their protocol is for entering a restaurant, what the state says, so they're getting together trying to combat all these new pandemic things that happen within the state level, then the city level, and it's overwhelming at times. And I think we've done a very good job of it because our sales have not suffered.
Incredible. What's the team size like in your sourcing department? What was it like, let's say, pre-pandemic, and what is it now? How many in your division?
So pre-pandemic, we had 16, and we have grown the team only because we've taken on the FRC group from in Arizona. So that has brought in a whole nother complexity, bringing in a company that had 12 concepts and was not publicly traded. So now not only do we have to roll them in, but then we also have to make sure that they're SOX compliant on all of our controls. So it's been quite a challenge. So now we're up to 20.
We have a question also from one of our new salespeople, Ron.
Hi, Barbara. Nice
Brenda.
to meet you.
Brenda.
That's Brenda.
Barbara,
You were saying
Barbara just got hired.
I was thinking Barbara and I started on the same day. So that's why I apologize for that.
No worries.
You know, you mentioned you had data processing challenges before you met Scott. Were you taking calls from software folks when they called and said, "Hey, I have something to show you"? Was that something you were openly looking for? And
Good question. Were you able to hear that, Brenda?
Yeah, I took calls all the time. And most of it was they were looking for an EDI system, which we already have. We use Crunch Time. Most of what people were calling on was that it was ordering systems, and we already had one in place. We put it in place in 2012. So I didn't have a need for it. No one ever called me to do price audits. No one ever called me and said, hey, I've got this NASDAQ ticker at the bottom of my dashboard that can do miracles. I didn't know that. So InsideTrack is very unique. And I think they have a lot to offer. And had I heard about them before FRC told us about them, I would have been all over it.
You can blame the marketing.
Yeah, who do I need to talk to about that?
That's right. She said she's going to hold it against you.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Anybody else have a question here in the room? Or perhaps Brenda, do you have any questions you'd like to ask anybody here?
No, I just want to make sure you guys have the confidence and know that you guys have this incredible product that whoever your competitors are, they don't hold a candle to you. So go out there and do what you guys do best. I can't say enough about InsideTrack.
That's awesome. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.